Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Coogan Cassius, and some very special guests. Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
you get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.
258'S, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Will Harvey joins you, my friend. It's good to see you. I don't think I've seen you since, I'm going to say San Diego.
San Diego.
Long time.
Well remembered, my man. Yeah, San
I always remember a pretty face.
Likewise. But yeah, we've not spoke since March. I think it was March 20, maybe March 22 or something like that. Yeah. Long time.
Here this week, of course, for Ben Whittaker. I just said this to Johnny. It's one of them where you kind of know what you're going to get in the sense of it's going to be flashy, it's going to be exciting, but you also don't know what you're going to get because you never know what he's got up his sleeve, and that is kind of the excitement at the moment around Ben.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a completely original character. He's unauthentic, and I think that is part of the draw when he not only fights but around him in a fight week. You know, it's the whole build-up with him, what he's going to say, what he's going to wear, what the team around him are going to be wearing, which all takes a lot of planning behind the scenes, but we like to keep it exciting and kind of unconventional for people. And then obviously the ring walks as well, we like to keep them fresh, exciting, original. And then he, luckily backs it all up in the ring with his fighting style as well, where you see a good amount of showboating, good amount of entertainment, but then fundamentally we always see the same thing which we want to see, which is a devastating knockout at the same time.
I want to know how much persuading it took Sugar to wear that.
Zero persuasion.
I did kind of think that. I thought it either took him loads, because he looked and went, that's too leery for me. Or he went, you know what, yeah, that's me.
Zero persuasion. Do you know what? So we had camp in New York and Sugar actually picked out the outfit. So we thought, do you know what, why don't we get the whole gang in to wear it and then we'll wear it on fight week. So the whole thing was really Sugar's idea, so zero persuasion on that one.
It does make sense that it was his idea. In terms of Ben's journey, you know when you've got someone that good that, all right, it's 4 fights in and he had to kind of recover from the injury, but you know it ain't going to be long before people are going, where's the step up to this, where's the belt, where's the... It will come around so quickly. How are you guys going to kind of combat that? Because obviously you have got your own journey and things you want to follow.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly it. Like people need to remember that this is only Ben's second fight back from a very, very nasty, potentially quite dangerous injury that occurred last year for him, and he had 8 months out the ring. Where in that 8 months he could run, he could do pads, but he couldn't spar, zero contact. So he had a real long period of inactivity. So I understand the need or the want from the fans to rush Ben and see him in big fights, but our responsibility is to guide him in the right way and not take any unnecessary risk with his career. So what we wanted to do, which is what we are doing at the moment, was have the first couple of fights back against manageable opponents, which also, don't forget, if I'm being completely honest with you, they are opponents that are going to allow him to look spectacular, entertain the fans, make the show exciting and bring more eyes to him. We are in the second fight now, back after the injury. Vladimir Belusky is he's still a seasoned pro. He's got 6 losses, but he's only been stopped twice. He boxed Karol Tuma. I first saw him and put him on our list of potential opponents. I saw him box a Tuma on the Chisora Fury undercard. So it's a fight that we've always had our eye on. But he's got 9 stoppages out of 13 wins, so he still brings something to the table. But look, Ben is doing 8 rounds. He's in unbelievable condition. The way that he's been training since he's come back from the injury and has been able to train properly has been really impressive. So I think we will have we'll have this fight. We'll see how it goes. We'll get him re-scanned for the injury after this fight, which we've always been planning to do. And then all being well with that, I think we see him push on and step him up in the next fight, which will probably be, around August, September time this year. So he'll fight another couple times this year. And I think, by the end of the year, we'll see him in a 10-rounder against a very big recognised name. So I understand the fans' impatience, but just bear with us. Enjoy the show while it's going on, and then we'll see him in a big fight end of the year.
Well, one thing's for sure, we can't wait for the first bell to go and see what he's going to do on Saturday night. One more thing on Ben, obviously he was in New York, and when you're a man who is so in demand and you're around a fight week of another promoter, people are going to try and add things up and say, is Ben going to get pinched from Boxer? You know how it is. But I suppose he's going to get that though, isn't he? I can imagine he's probably had promoters slyly DMing him and doing this and that because he is the most, or one of the most in-demand prospects in world boxing.
100%. Look, we're not shocked by anything. Even when we signed Ben, when we started working with him, the process of turning him pro and speaking to all the different promoters was like nothing that I've ever seen before. The only person that really I can liken it to was AJ in terms of the clamour to actually get his signature on their contract. So look, there's not a promoter in the world that is not interested in working with Ben Whittaker. We know that, we're fully aware of that. But we've got a deal in place with Sky. They're doing a great job with him so far. We're really happy with how he's being built, how his profile's growing. Like, I think he's become so much more recognisable boxing on the Sky platform in the last year. You can see the numbers on social media. It's massive, the growth that he's had. So look, we will always do what's right for Ben Whittaker. Ben Whittaker is I have his best interests at heart, but at the moment he's signed with Sky on a good deal. We're very happy here. They're doing a fantastic job, and long may that continue.
Hands off, Eddie, for now. Joshua, you knew I was going to, of course, ask about this. As we spoke about before, before I turned the camera on, there's so many developments. So by the time this goes out, something might have changed. I'm going to try and get it up ASAP, so we're kind of as relevant as possible. Where are we at the moment? I know Eddie said he spoke to some of the guys from Saudi and is expecting kind of a wilder contract. And there's the Dillian stuff as well. So where are we at as we stand here now?
Yeah, as you say, it's an extremely fluid situation right now, genuinely, and I wouldn't be surprised if what I tell you now will be different by the time that it goes out, so we will try and get it out quickly. But obviously I've been up in Manchester, so I need to catch up with Freddie properly, but Freddie, Frank and Eddie had really productive meetings with the Saudi guys yesterday in London. That is, obviously an opportunity that we've said for a while is something that really excites us. They are having the relevant conversations now to try and get something in place, and I've always said, and my position on it in the past has been that I think sometimes we can get carried away and we can say too much about these situations before we've got actually anything signed, sealed and delivered, and then too much back and forth on social media and in the public eye can actually kind of cause things to break down.
Look at it like a we've been here before situation.
Yes, exactly, kind of. But all I can say to you is that we had some really good, productive talks yesterday. We're working towards getting something in place for the end of the year. And when we have more official news on it, we will, you guys will be the first to know once it's in place. But until then, we have to just sit tight and let those guys do what they do best, and that's get the deal done.
I know Amir Abdullah said that regardless of any interim fights and any interim results, it's them 4 fighters they want. They want Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk. Did you kind of understand at first, though, why Dillian was perhaps hesitant for a rematch clause in the August fight? I suppose in his head it was, I knock Anthony Joshua out, I take the Saudi spot.
Yeah, I can understand that. And look, but at the same time, like, that is the beauty of those 4 fights. Obviously, there's the undisputed fight between Fury and Usyk, but the beauty of those 4 fights is they are the biggest 4 heavyweights in the world right now. If Dillian was to beat AJ, I don't think he's suddenly the 4th biggest heavyweight in the world. Do you know what I mean? So I don't think that guarantees him a slot on that show. So to be honest, I don't really agree with what he's saying there. And if I'm in his position, you probably think, fuck it, he's fighting him again and take another payday. Do you know what I mean? So no, I don't really agree with Dillian on that one. But look, like I said, those conversations are still ongoing. Freddie, Eddie, Frank, they're doing what they do best. And hopefully we'll have some news on everything in the not too distant future.
Freddie, Eddie and Frank sounds like a good little boy band.
It's a real tongue twister. You got to make sure you get it out properly. Yeah. They are a terrible trio, a gruesome trio, but in the best possible way, I think.
As long as I'd never have to hear them sing, then I'll be right. How much will you guys be made aware of whether Tyson and Alexander are playing ball in this? Because it's all about kind of having this thing in Saudi as a collaboration together. I've seen the 4 fighters. Obviously, you can only focus on AJ and what's going right for him. How much are you kind of informed on whether Tyson and Alexander are playing ball with their stuff?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, Like, to be completely honest with you, right? We have great conversations with George Warren. I really enjoy working with George, and we, as 258, have always got on very well and worked like collaboratively with him. So we hear certain things from George, but then the problem is Frank and Tyson come out and sometimes are at completely odds with what they're saying. So it's very hard to decipher exactly what is going on that side of the fence, because you hear so many different things from different people inside the team, which can be confusing. The only thing that we can really do is focus on getting our side of the deal sorted and secured, and hope that Tyson is a man of his word, and he's the fighter that everybody believes he is, in that he wants to fight the best and he wants the biggest and best possible fights, which I'm sure he does. So for me, it's a no-brainer that they're going to be in for the situation in Saudi. I'd be surprised if it didn't happen, but I just heard Frank say something the other day about that Tyson's not going to be fighting Usyk in Saudi. He's got some game-changing
I
announcement.
was going to say, I think Umar said it's something big, and he said, no, it's game-changing. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, outside of Usyk, do you kind of take that as a UFC-related for Ngannou fighting in a cage? I know, like, I was going to ask you what you think that could be, but it would all be a guess, I guess.
Yeah, to be honest, who the fuck knows? I have no fucking idea, to be honest. Like I said, we hear so many different things from their side that it's hard to know what's true and what's kind of misinformation. So we'll just have to sit tight and hope that it's the news that we all want. We will probably find out a little bit before you guys, but all I can say is that as to what Tyson's next move is, our side, we're not really sure yet. We have to just, cross our fingers.
Join us for the very first IFL Live at London's Indigo at the O2, Sunday, August the 13th, with me, Kugan Cassius, and some very special guests, Eddie Hearn, Darren Barker, Johnny Fisher, and more. Tickets now on sale. So in the words of Eddie Hearn,
You get up, you dress up, and you fucking show up.